With YouTube attacking alternative media, please consider supporting the channel via Patreon for just $1 per month. Link below. Peter Rabbit. Movie that I never asked for, even though I like the books, and one that I don't necessarily want to see, mostly because I just don't care about James Corden one bit. I'm sorry, I just don't. I don't. I really just don't. But right now, the oh shit. Let me start this over a little bit because I fucked this one up. This is what happens when you try to record it live and you make mistakes. So, snaps for traps. Those of you who watch my main channel know what I'm talking about. All right. This is what happens when you do it live. You do it live and you're trying to segment out content. Oh, snaps for traps. Peter Rabbit. It's a movie that I didn't care about. And looking at the box office return over the weekend, neither did anyone else really. I mean, a family film based upon a very beloved story by Beatrix Potter was beaten out by BDSM Light with 50 Shades Freed, a movie franchise that treats, bondage so cavalier that it's literally gotten people hurt. But that's okay. That's okay. Peter Rabbit was there to hurt people itself. And apparently it did, because Sony Pictures apologizes for insensitive food allergy scene in Peter Rabbit. Yes, this is the outrage of the week. This is what people are mad at here. A food allergy scene in Peter Rabbit. As I said, a movie that beat it out in the box office was all about, like BDSM stuff. So there's that. The filmmakers and studio behind the new children's movie Peter Rabbit have issued an apology after drawing ire over a scene pertaining to a food allergy. Sacre bleu, right? I mean, like, look, I can understand, before we get into this, I can understand why some people are upset at there being a thing like this. I get it, right? They're upset. They don't want, to make fun of something as bad as a food allergy. If you have friends who have food allergies, I get it. I do. I understand. But at the same time, it's a movie with animated talking rabbits. This is not real life. This is fantasy. This is fiction. These people don't exist. No actors were harmed in the filming of this movie. And I feel that should be now put in the front of the movie instead of at the very end of the credits. Now, in the film, Peter Rabbit, voiced by horrible James Corden. I can't stand James Corden, right? Like, I try watching his show and I'm just like, ugh. Like, ugh. Yeah. Also, carpool karaoke from a YouTuber perspective is just garbage. Anyway, Peter Rabbit's nemesis, Mr. McGregor, is allergic to blackberries. In an attempt to enter McGregor's garden, Peter and his friends shoot a blackberry into McGregor's mouth, causing anaphylaxis. Parents who saw the movie were upset with the scene, saying this scenario was bullying of someone with a food allergy and calling for a boycott of the film. Now, considering that, like, McGregor tries to keep them out, I can understand the bullying aspect, but at the same time, it's also like, it's a movie. It's a movie. The guy have an EpiPen on him. He's fine. He's good. Did he live through the movie? I'm sure he did. He's fine. He's good. Playing up something like that as a way of, getting one over on somebody is, it's a real dickish thing to do. But at the same time, it's a movie. In an email statement, Sony Pictures and the filmmakers of Peter Rabbit said, food allergies are a serious issue. Our film should not have made light of Peter Rabbit's arch nemesis, Mr. McGregor, being allergic to blackberries, even in a cartoonish slapstick way. We sincerely regret not being more aware and sensitive to this issue, and we truly apologize. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if this is not enough to quell those small voices that want to boycott the movie. In fact, given everything involving, let's say, the hashtag #MeToo movement, this type of microaggression against people with food allergies, especially to blackberries, they should definitely recast the movie to see if Christopher Plummer is available for reshoots, or just go and add an entirely different scene and then resend the film to cinemas in order to cut it out, which I think at that point would only make it worse. But if the movie's losing in the box office, and if it's losing to 50 Shades Freed, and it's going to definitely lose to Black Panther next week, or later on this week, it might be actually good for them to do that. It might be good for Sony to sit there and say, yeah, maybe it would be a good idea if we did, in fact, get rid of this thing. Maybe, or it would cut the scene out, because it would cause a controversy that would drive people to the theater in order to see it, in order to get one over on them people who are upset about food allergies, right? It's a solid play, and we've seen it play out time and time again. Now, Kid with Food Allergies, a division of the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America, have previously posted a note of caution on their Facebook page to parents taking their children to see Peter Rabbit, saying the scene may be disturbing to young viewers who have a food allergy. I'm lactose intolerant. If I have a lot of dairy, my body does not respond well. So I would look at a scene like that and probably still laugh my ass off. Just as I, also get mad at myself every time I have ice cream. Like, oh, Matt, you shouldn't do this, but at the same time, it's so good, right? I had to go to a baby shower recently, and the lady hosting the baby shower, straight up allergic to peanuts. Can't have them. It will kill her. And yet products she had there at her own home may contain peanuts. And she's like, it tastes pretty good. Screw it. I'm gonna gamble, right? I'm just gonna roll the dice and see what happens. Because that's how I think people live their life in regards to this. So the only people getting offended are parents on behalf of their children who probably don't care and will probably just end up laughing at the scene as it was previously intended. Again, this is something that's seriously an outrage of the week. But it finishes up here by saying the AAFA CEO, Kenneth Menendez, posted an open letter to Sony Pictures writing, "Making light of this condition hurts our members because it encourages the public to not take the risk of allergic reactions seriously. And this cavalier attitude may make them act in a way that could put an allergic person in danger." But the thing is, nobody wears their allergy on their sleeve, right? Oftentimes they have to tell you. Like, I have friends who are allergic to wheat and can't have anything like this. The gluten craze, allergy craze was a thing for a while. And people who found a way to use it to make more money by just writing it's gluten-free. I saw gluten-free water once. Like, that's how far it went in terms of marketing. But when you break it down, no one was harmed. It's a movie. The kids are going to laugh at it, and then it's up for the parents later on to sit there and go, now, see, that scene was funny, but that's not how you should treat people who have an allergy. It can hurt them, and that was a movie, and that's not real. Very similar to when I was, 6, and my mom was out with her friend, and her friend's mother was watching me, and she was an old, 1970s Jewish woman, or she's like 70-year-old Jewish woman, no-nonsense Jewish woman. We're watching Jaws 3, right? We're watching Jaws the Revenge. And we're watching that movie, and I'm freaking out because I'm 6, and here's a great white shark chewing people in half. And she's like, "It's just ketchup. It's not real. Look, it's ketchup. It's a movie. It's fake. You're not scared." And just like really drilled that in my head, right? And then my stepdad, when we sat there one night and we rented Halloween and Alien, and I was like 10, right? And I should not have rented these movies, but he allowed me to sit there and rent them, and we sat there and we watched them, and I was scared crapless. And he was like, "It's a movie. It's not real. It's fake. They're really alive. You're not hurt. Also, never jam an open syringe into someone's, vein. It's gonna kill them." Like, that's the whole idea there. Is it, these movies have death and violence and rape and horrible things, and kids see this kind of stuff all the time, and yet it's up to the parents to tell them that the stuff is not real. It's not up for people to draw a stink and call for a boycott over a food allergy joke. I mean, come on. If you're going to outrage, at least outrage responsibly.